That if you have a tough job to do, you should think that this is a job. We're lighting the coffee.
Thank you so much for coming to my conference. I really appreciate it.
Wonderful, sir.
Yeah. By the way, Miami is very special in the cryptocurrency industry. At this very convention center is where we launched Ethereum back in January of 2014.
I did not know that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, the second largest cryptocurrency in the world.
That's
so
right.
This
That's
city
wonderful.
is always going to be part of the history of the space.
Yeah. Charles, a lot of our viewers are probably asking the question is, what is the difference between IOHK and Cardano? How are they related?
So Cardano is an open protocol, anybody can use it, and it's a product that IOHK works on. So it's almost like the relationship of, I don't know, Android to Google or something like that. So we're a contributor to Cardano, but there are other companies that work on it. IOHK is a research and development company, so we build cryptocurrencies and enterprise blockchains. We're a distributed company. We're in 16 countries, and people work at home, some in their underwear, some late at night, and they have a lot of fun. But the problem is they're siloed, they're isolated. They don't get to see each other, they don't get to talk to each other outside of Slack and email. And that's a sometimes dehumanizing process. So we said, yeah, bring everybody together at least once a year and have them have a chance to get to know each other, meet each other, drink with each other, and that'll probably make us a better company. So it's a good opportunity to get to meet our best and brightest.
Now, IOHK wasn't domiciled in the United States, and I read somewhere that you were going to bring it back to the United States?
Yeah, we're in Wyoming now. I got my boots on and everything, so we're ready to go.
You know, there's a competition for who's the friendliest in this industry. I'd rather have the states be competing against each other than have the feds come in with one uniform law that's bad for all of us.
Yeah, you know, they changed a lot of legislation, and actually some of the pioneers behind that are here at this conference, Caitlin Long and others, and they made Wyoming one of the most crypto-friendly places in the entire world, and it's about an hour from where I live in Colorado, so that's a good deal for me.
It gets me excited to think, what are the next technological advancements that I can spearhead, that I can get behind, that are going to change the way we live?
It's a new product we're announcing at the summit, and Atala is basically what we mean when we say Cardano Enterprise. So we've had a skunk works at IOHK working for over a year, writing basically our version of Fabric. It's an enterprise ledger framework, and it's specifically built from the ground up for solving problems within countries.
Well, we'd love to continue to be part of it as the space grows, which we know it will. It's such a rapidly expanding market. We want to continue to be part of the growth, and we want Miami to be the epicenter of it. So what New York was for the financial markets back in the day, and what Chicago was for the textile markets, we want Miami to be for the blockchain and crypto markets.
Sounds great, my friend. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Cheers.
Well, we need more people. And the core of this community building happens through what we call the ambassadors.
So one of our fans in the community, his name's Marcus, and his partner, they contacted us. They said, you know, we think we can get a stake pool. We think we can get Cardano running on a RockPi board. And I said, wow, that's really cool. How much does it cost? And they're like, oh yeah, like $80. I said, cool. So he showed up here. He came from Europe, and on his own time and with his own company, he built this. This is not an IOHK product. This is something built by our community. It's open hardware, 6 cores, 4 gigs of RAM, a little bit of storage, and this can run a Cardano stake pool. It's also battery powered, that's why it has the cool little light. He even made the case himself, and true to form, you'll see that the paint is a little scratched off on the side. That's because when you show up at America with hardware that's not labeled, it really scares the hell out of the TSA, and they say, like, what is this thing? And they scratched the paint a little bit, and he was pretty miffed about it because he's Italian and he likes design. What are you doing? What's wrong with you people?
And so we're kind of on the bleeding edge of software and of the hardware, and so there's a lot of tinkering you have to do. Plus on top, we've added a few surprises, which you can see at the top. But you know, it takes time to really make it all work together.
And there was this situation some years ago where one pool almost reached 50% of the hashing power, the total hashing power. Right. And then people, because they believed in Bitcoin and in decentralization, they left the pool. But by doing that, so basically they had to decide between money and doing the right thing. So the incentive system in Bitcoin is somehow not aligned with what is good for the system. And we try to do that better when we designed it, so that you can just act selfishly in your own financial best interest, And if you do that, if everybody does that, then automatically you reach this decentralization. So that was the main design goal of our reward scheme.
It's very important to reach out to scientists in other areas, in this particular case legal science, and try to understand their perspectives. You'll be surprised to see that many of the questions that are in cryptography, they are the same questions are being addressed with different tools in this area.
And this is where functional programming really comes in. What we mean when we talk about functional programming, we really mean this essential notion of a function where you've got inputs which you transform into outputs. But every programming language has that, I hear you saying. Well, there is a special sort of function, which we like to call pure functions, where the outputs are fully determined by the inputs. So I take one function, I apply it twice to the same inputs, I always get the same output. So there's a high degree of predictability. There are no side effects.
So the stuff that's in green is what was previously written in JavaScript that would run off-chain, that's Haskell, and then the stuff in blue, that's also Haskell, but it's compiled to Pluto's core to run on-chain. So you have a single language for writing both the on-chain and off-chain code. And that was Manuel's brilliant contribution. And we haven't found anybody else doing this in the blockchain world yet. So I think this will become standard.
If we're actually going to get to a system that's the next generation, that's worth anything, that's going to have billions of people, that system has to work. That's your money. That's your property. That's your identity. That's your privacy. This is your life.